in a place called the Keys in Florida. I believe this is Big Pine Key. And this is their local flea market that they have on Saturdays and Sundays. And people are out here today, as you can see, shopping. But I met this wonderful lady this morning who is a former teacher, and she is from
Mahomet, Illinois.
Mahomet, Illinois. What is Mahomet, Illinois?
Formerly known as Middletown, Illinois. It's right in the middle of the state, and about 10 miles from the University of Illinois. And I'm a farm girl, raised in a farm.
Is that right?
Yep.
Is there ocean there?
Oh gosh, no.
Anywhere?
I live on a little bitty lake that backs up to the Sangamon River.
See, I've never been there, and I can't even place it right now, but so
About
it's
2.5 hours south of Chicago.
okay. So the closest ocean to you is how many miles from where you live?
1,000 miles.
And what about, there's ponds and lakes there though?
Oh yeah. I live on a little bitty place, a little bitty lake called Spring Lake.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you have it about Illinois. But I am with this teacher here that we were talking a little, and I just wanted her to explain to my viewers about how teachers differ from yesterday versus today and how the students are. And you can elaborate on that as much as you want. So she's just going to tell you a little bit about her teaching career and how her students were, and whatever you'd like to talk about, you're on.
Okay, sure.
And give us your full name.
Okay, I'm Diana Harmon, and I started teaching kind of late in life. I was in my 30s, and I started teaching in 1990. And I taught in Rantoul, Illinois, where there was Chanute Air Force Base. A lot of my students, probably more than half, were military kids, and some farm kids, some foster kids, and I had 32 fourth grade students, which was a really full classroom.
Fourth grade is a tough grade.
It is a tough grade.
That is one of the toughest.
But
I think
it was a lot of fun for the most part.
Yeah.
The kids were well behaved.
Yeah.
As a first year teacher, I felt like I had things pretty easy. I had a good co-workers and very supportive administration. Things changed some. I only taught there for 1 year, and then I taught in Farmer City, Illinois, and Mansfield, and ended up teaching for about 18 years in Gibson City, Illinois.
So you've had a lot of experiences.
Yeah. I taught and I coached track and with
did
middle
ya?
school kids.
Yep, you're in
lot of
great
fun.
shape. You're in great shape.
Well, thank you.
You're obviously retired as
I am retired. I took an early retirement to take care of my parents. Both of them needed some help, and
God bless you.
yeah,
And that your parents. Hello, parents.
Well,
How are you? I'm
unfortunately-
Deborah K. Levi. Get with the program.
Well, unfortunately, I lost both of them, but
Oh.
they were 90 and 95 when they died, so they had good long lives. But
So you have longevity.
yeah, I do. I'm hoping that's a good thing.
Let me ask you, may I ask,
Sure.
how did they pass? What did they have?
My dad suffered from Alzheimer's.
Oh, boy.
And it was rough, but he would be the first to have told you that he had a great life. He was a Marine. He served in the Marines and was at Iwo Jima, and
Wow.
he had a great life. And he was a farmer. My mom worked at the University of Illinois. Just had a really good life. She drew from her retirement longer than she actually worked. So
Wow.
I'd say that's a good life.
Let's go back to your father. Did he have any breathing issues due to farming? Anything due to the farming?
He was really very healthy up until, starting to lose his health some with dementia. But
Because I know back then they used those chemicals a lot.
oh yeah, and they didn't have closed-in cabins.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
He had the farmer's tan,
Yeah.
holes in his t-shirt with brown spots on his back, and
Tell me a little bit about your farm. What was on your farm?
Very small farm. We had at different times. We had dairy cattle, beef cattle that we showed at fairs in 4-H, and we had chickens and pigs and sheep. We had everything. One pony, kind of a mean pony. His name was Fred.
A mean pony named Fred.
Well,
Fred, get out of there.
He would take us up close to buildings to knock us off.
Oh,
or
no!
We had to ride him bareback. We didn't have a
What
saddle.
made him so mean? Did you have it as
He didn't like to be ridden.
Oh, and you had the pony since he was born?
No,
or-
he
Oh.
was gifted to us from another family, and
Are you sure it was gifted?
yeah, he
Oh.
was gifted to us, and he would get out of his pen and chase cars in front of our house.
Oh my God, that's so
But
funny.
We'd ride him out into the field, and when we got out into the field, then he would take off trotting back home, and we'd fall off and have to
Oh,
walk
that's
home.
cute.
So,
That's a great story.
yeah.
So, what do you think of the price of eggs?
It's
Be
high.
honest about it.
It's high.
I have a different outlook on the price of eggs, okay? My studies show me that eggs are such a great source, which we know of protein, but
Exactly.
but there's also omega, there's also so many parts of an egg that are like vitamins, okay? So there's a list of vitamins that are in the egg. And when you match that up against a steak, there is as much in an egg that there is in a steak that is good for you. Yet the steak, you go out and get a good steak today, it's $55 to $60 if you want a quality steak. But the egg, everyone complains about, like the eggs are too high. But I look at it, maybe I'm futuristic, I am looking at it from a different perspective totally because of the nourishment you get from the egg.
And they're a lot more versatile. You can put them in anything. So.
And I had 2 eggs this morning. They actually charged me, so I had 2 eggs on a, let's see, 2 eggs, cheese, and bacon on a croissant. They charged me $1.50 extra for that 1 egg.
Yeah.
So,
That's about
and
right.
people would squawk about that, but
Oh yeah.
if you know what the egg can do for your body,
Right.
I mean, people lose weight eating eggs.
Yes, they do. And I've been at home in Illinois. We buy our eggs from my niece, who lives on our family farm, and so they have their primer farm eggs, and they feed them all their table scraps and everything else, and it's $5 a dozen, but you don't even have to refrigerate those eggs because the eggs have a natural coating that if you don't wash them, you can leave them sitting out for I don't know, at least a couple of weeks on your counter. So, and they taste better, they look better. So I like the natural eggs.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you, because it's coming to mind right now, on memories. We're going to go back and finish up this interview.
Sure.
And I'm going to ask you, what is your best memory? If you can think of it, just give it a minute, and I'll show the rest of this place. Give it a minute. What is your best memory on the farm? We are going to a station break here at, what is the name of this place where we are at?
This is the Big Farm, or Big Pine Key Flea Market.
No, the name of this
place
particular.
here, I'm not sure. You might have to ask that.
What
nice
is the
lady.
name of this business, please? The name of the business here. The name, the title. Is it just under flea market or is it a title? Everybody's freezing, everyone's laughing. Nobody knows. Do you know where you're shopping?
A flea market.
Right.
The dirt mall.
What is it?
There's an employee. Maybe she knows.
Dirt mall.
A dirt ball?
Mall.
That's the name of this?
Not of this establishment, the whole thing.
Really?
We call it the dirt mall.
Oh, I never heard. Well, thanks.
But it seems
I
to
never
fit.
heard of it. We don't know the title right now because we didn't get one, but we are
Not
at
a not a reflection on this particular
no,
establishment.
it's
though.
a flea market, but here we are. So she's thinking about her memory of the farm, and I'm just going to show you a couple of things here on the farm. On the farm? I'm on your farm. No, the flea market. Oh, that's funny. Ooh, that's beautiful colors.
Made in America.
Made in America. Woohoo! Made in America. There's a lot of those USA, instead of the Gulf of America, Remember, what was it? The Gulf of Mexico is now the Gulf of America. Those are selling
Yes,
like hotcakes everywhere here. Okay, so we gave her some time. We are back. We are back. Her favorite farm memory.
it's really, really hard to pin one down. I
Oh, boy.
felt like I had an absolutely amazing childhood, and I have 4 siblings, so lots of memories of hanging out with my family. Probably surviving living on the farm is my best memory. We used to do things like climbing up the sides of a metal corn crib and climbing down into it, which we know now was very dangerous. We had a big rope in the haymow of the barn, and we would swing back and forth on it and then drop through a 3x3 hole in the floor into a grain bin down below. None of us ever broke any bones. None of us ever died. So, you know. And
So those are your memories.
those are some, raising the farm, raising the chickens, raising the cattle, showing them at the fairs. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, but
Did-
just,
Did you ever hear about Elvis Presley growing up on his property? It's farm-like there, and the property, he would, when they played, he would, they said he got a gun and he would shoot at the
at the
at
pigeons.
the slide and at the swing set and the slide, and there's bullet holes there you can go and see. It's
my older brothers had a BB gun.
Oh,
and they
geez.
it was probably a Red Ryder, I would assume, but it didn't have a lot of power. They would shoot BBs at the pigeons in the barn, but the pigeons could see the BBs coming and fly away.
Oh, yeah.
My oldest brother used to make me run around in our yard with rubber boots on when my parents were gone and he was in charge, and he would shoot BBs at me. But he said he was aiming at my feet. They didn't always hit the feet. But you know, life on a farm back then, we had to find entertainment. We didn't have all the technology and everything now. In fact, we rarely spent any time in the house. So
right.
you know, if every kid now could grow up on a farm, I think we'd have a better world. More responsible people.
Right.
A little more satisfied with what they have.
I agree with you on that. Now I'm going to go to the next thing, because we look at the teachers today and what they go through, because the parenting and the kids are controlling the parents, a lot of them. A lot of the parents have control that they're disciplining these children properly. Then you have those that are just, it's a dangerous profession to be in as a teacher these days. Let's go back to a memory that you have that stands out, where someone at that time was fresh or did something that was not kosher.
Could you?
What happened while you were teaching that maybe someone, you know, what was the worst thing that happened to you with your class or children?
Probably the worst thing would be when I had to I was a mandated reporter, and I saw a lot of things that shouldn't happen to kids that I knew were happening. I think that probably was the worst thing. I can think of one child in particular. I won't mention any names.
No, don't do that.
But just, he had a sad life, and I met him in 3rd grade. He had a pretty bad reputation at the school. I loved the kid, but he had a lot of trouble, and hit me, kicked me, called me a jerk, and probably 15, 20 years later, he came back and visited me at the school and brought his new wife and child with him.
Oh my goodness.
To meet me, because I at least tried to support him. And I only had him for 1 semester because
You were his mentor.
I had him for 1 semester, and he was placed in a residential care home.
Oh, wow.
But seeing some of those kids that the world kind of failed was probably the hardest part of being a teacher, and I would think it probably still is. And I think we're failing them in more and more ways.
Would you want to be a teacher today? from
I
what
would love
you-
to hang out with the kids, but being a teacher has become more of a record keeping, testing,
Yeah.
not as much fun a job. So probably not.
Education is different. Everything's,
Very much different.
yes. So that's that story. But I am so glad to have met you.
It was good to meet you.
Here she is, a teacher, a mentor, and she has never probably been interviewed in her life, correct? Like
too
this, like this, on
No.
a program called
No.
Get With the Program,
No.
in a place called The Keys. And there's somebody in the distance.
She could probably tell you the name of the business.
Do we have a name of this place? Do we have a name? Huh? No name? Teachers can't live on apples alone. And you could get that here, teachers. Come one, come all to the flea market ball in Key Pine.
Big Pine.
Big Pine Key. Big Pine Key is the key to happiness. Keys to happiness. And I got a great sweatshirt here. Okay, thank you for being on my show. It is so nice meeting you. You are a
Nice to meet
beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. Take care of yourself and God bless.
Thank you. Same